Good evening, Paula, and all of my fellow Philly lovers out there. My name is Jamie Miller, and I am here in my favorite place, my kitchen, doing my favorite thing, cooking. And tonight I am going to share with you one of my favorite appetizer recipes. I'm going to be making my mini chive and onion crab cakes with tasty tartar sauce. Now, this recipe has been requested by so many of my friends so many times, and I have taken it to parties and I've made it for parties, and it has proven to be a huge success, so I think you're gonna love it. So let's not talk about it anymore, let's actually make it. I'm gonna start out with a bowl of chive and onion cream cheese. Now, I brought it to room temperature and stirred it up so it's nice and smooth. And usually when I make this for a party, I like to go with the regular chive and onion. But tonight, because I'm not entertaining and I'm going to be eating all of this along with my husband and maybe my daughter, but she's a little pint-sized peanut and actually just got back from a birthday party with pizza and birthday cake, so probably not so much. So I think I'm going to be eating a lot of my yummy little crab cake. So I'm going to use the light. And that's one of the beautiful things about this recipe. It works perfectly well and tastes great with either the full-fat cream cheese or the light. And in addition to that, I'm going to add some sour cream to my mix. And once again, full-fat sour cream or light sour cream, the recipe is going to set up just fine and it's going to taste great with either version. Alright, so I've got that in my bowl. I'm also going to add 1 beaten egg into the mix. That's going to help that really firm up. I've got a little bit of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, a pinch of salt, just a pinch, and I'm going to add some lemon juice, a couple teaspoons of lemon juice, as well as the grated zest from 1 lemon. I'm going to stir that all together. You know, I often wonder about recipes that call for fresh lemon juice and not the zest. Why would you throw that away? It tastes so fresh and lemony. And hello, lemons are not cheap, at least not up here in the frozen tundra I call home in Minnesota. So I love the fragrance and the flavor of that fresh lemon zest in addition to the juice. Alright, so I'm just going to mix that together a little bit, and then we're going to add the star of our show tonight, which is the crab meat. I've got some nice, good quality lump crab meat. You can get it in the refrigerated section or perhaps the meat section of your grocery store. And for this recipe, which is going to make about 24 of the little mini crab cakes, I'm going to use a ½ pound. So 8 ounces of my fresh lump crab meat. And I'm just going to stir that in to the cream cheese mixture. Alright, and that is going to form the base of our mini crab cakes. So, one more thing we're going to do before we start to put these in our crab cake molds and pop them in the oven is make a really yummy, crusty, little crunchy crust. So over here, I'm going to start with some panko. Those lovely little light, flaky Japanese breadcrumbs. I've got a cup of panko. I'm going to add to that a little bit more of our Parmesan cheese. You want to use the nice freshly grated stuff if you can. I've got some fresh chives, which is really going to highlight the chive flavor in the cream cheese and add a little color as well. And then I've got some melted butter to bind it all together, and you know, everything's better with butter, right? We've got to add a little bit of that yummy butter. So we're just going to stir all this together. Alright, so I'm ready to put together my crab cakes. I've got 2 12-cup mini muffin tins. If you don't have 2, you could certainly do this in a couple of batches because it does make 24. But what I want to do is start with a little bit of my crispy panko crust. I'm going to put a spoonful of it into the bottom of the muffin tin. And then on top of that, my yummy crab and cream cheese mixture. So I want to put that almost up to the top of the mold. You can smell them already and they're not even baked. And then what we want to do is just top that off with a little bit more of the crispy crust. And that top layer is going to get nice and crisp in the oven. So just like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish filling up my pan. Pop them in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes at 350, and they're done. All right, I baked up our crab cakes and they are resting for a few minutes. So let's talk about that tartar sauce. I'm gonna start out with some mayonnaise mixed up with a little bit of sweet pickle relish. Now again, in keeping with my theme for the evening, which is wanting to fit into my jeans tomorrow, I've started with a light mayo. But of course you can use a regular mayo, it's gonna be delicious. And I've mixed that up with some of that yummy, sweet, tangy pickle relish, which you've probably already got in your fridge. And to that, I'm just gonna add a couple more things. I'm gonna add some chopped up, it's gonna be a salty, savory, kind of tangy taste. And I've also got some chopped up shallots. So that is quick and easy. Chances are you've got all that stuff in your fridge already. And then if you want a little bit of hot sauce, I've got the green stuff that happened to be in my fridge. Whatever you've got is great, and as much or as little hot sauce as you want. Stuff is totally optional. Those crab cakes are going to be delicious with or without it, but once you taste the crab cakes with the tartar sauce on top, you're going to want to make it, because the crab cakes are so rich and savory, and this adds that nice tang and saltiness from the capers and the sweetness from the pickle relish, and it's just an explosion of flavor in your mouth when you put it all together. So you can see how delicious these crab cakes look, but I can't even begin to tell you how fantastic they smell. So I am ready to dig right in, and I hope you guys will try my recipe, and I hope you will love it. Cheers!